This video was shot on a Canon DSLR. Viewer discretion is advised. Hi guys, this is Matt Granger, that Nikon guy for mattgranger.com. Now, of course, this is the Nikon guy's channel, but I do want to cater for you Canon fans as well. So today I'm going to compare the Nikon D700 to the Canon 5D Mark II. Okay, let's kick off with the Canon. This is the follow-up to the fantastic 5D, which became the wedding and landscape photography choice and it was at a price point that most people could afford. Okay, both of these cameras were introduced at the end of 2008. The 5D Mark II is 21.1 megapixel, a huge jump from the first camera. It has ISO range of 100 to 6400, and you can bump that from all the way to 50 to 25,600, and it maxes out at 3.9 frames per second. The mower's just kicked in next door. The D700 is only 12.1 megapixel. It has a range of 200 to 6400, and it can be boosted to 100 to 25,600, so it doesn't go as low as the 5D. Now, so they're quite similar in those regards. Let's see how they're different. The Canon has a 98% coverage, the Nikon only has 95%. The flash sync, the Nikon will sync up to 320, the 5D only goes to 200. The frames per second on this one, on the Nikon, is 5, and you can bump that up to 8 with the battery pack. This is only 3.9. Nikon has a DX crop mode, the Canon doesn't. The buffer is fairly similar. I think the Canon may actually be bigger, but because the file size is so much bigger, you actually can capture less images in a burst with the Canon. Screens are both fantastic and big. What else? Video, obvious thing. Nikon does none. The 5D is famous for its fantastic image quality. It's been used for TV shows and movies. That's a real plus for the Canon. Exposure compensation, this only does plus and minus 2 stops, whereas the Nikon will go to 5. That can be handy. Weight, the Canon is lighter, 810 grams compared to 1020. If you're looking for lightweight, that's a good thing, but there's a reason the Nikon is heavier. It's more durable. That's just a fact. So let's go out, we'll get some different test shots and some high ISO shots and let you be the judge of the image quality. Okay, so here we've got the 5D Mark II with the 70 to 200, and to start off I'm going to shoot at the flower that's just there above the fence, and then get some shots at the trees. Let's have a look. Okay, now check out that bokeh. This is the Canon at 2.8, there it is at f8, and then at f16. Okay, now let's check out the Nikon 2.8, also lovely, f8 and f16. Now let's check out 100% crops at 2.8 on both side by side. Obviously the Canon's a lot larger because it's a much higher resolution, so 100% crop yields a bigger picture. What do you think overall? I think the bokeh looks better on the Nikon and it's sharper, but there's good detail in the Canon. Here we have some shots focusing up onto the leaves. This is the Canon at 70mm, 105, 135 and 200. And now the Nikon 70, 105, 135 and 200, and now here's full crops from the 200 on each of them. Keep in mind all those shots are at f2.8. Here is the Nikon D700 at maximum frame rate without using the extra battery pack. And on the other hand, here is the 5D Mark II at full frame rate. And we've filled it up. I think actually the battery died. Okay, let's do a high ISO test. I'm gonna have both cameras on the tripod zoomed out to 200mm at f8, and then we'll run through a bunch of different ISOs to show the image quality they get at 100% crop. Okay, here's the Canon at 200mm f8 at ISO 200, 800, 1600, 3200, you can see the noise coming in there, 6400, 12,800, and there's 100% crop of that. And then here is 25,600 and a full crop of that. Okay, and here's the Nikon at 200mm ISO 200 f8, ISO 800, 1600, 3200, 6400, 12,800, let's get a full crop there, yep, noise, and 25,600 and the full crop there. Okay. Lastly, here they are at 100% side by side. Look, the reality is both the 5D Mark II and the D700 are fantastic cameras. Whether you go for the D700 or the 5D Mark II, either way you're going to be really happy with your decision. And to be honest, if you're just getting started in photography and you're not committed to either brand, these are probably a little bit too advanced for you unless you're skipping from something else and you know what you're doing. So unless you're having a problem with the brand, if you're already a Canon or Nikon user, stick with what you've got, I'd suggest. As just a straight up comparison though, obviously in terms of the video resolution and fine detail, the 5D has it. However, if you want superior low light performance and better handling, then the D700 has it over it. But they're both wonderful cameras. I'm happy to give this one back though, and I'll stick with my D700. Thanks for watching. This has been Matt Granger, that Nikon guy for mattgranger.com.